everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to talk about the rich historical famous forts of Tamil Nadu. So let's start the video. There are many historical forts in Tamil Nadu which date back to the 17th and the 18th century. The British built their first fort in the state of Tamil Nadu. Also many other forts found in Tamil Nadu have been built by him. In the particular period, Tamil Nadu has long been a nation steeped in history, in whose territory innumerable dynasties have risen and fallen. If you want to get a closer look at the cultural fabric of the state, you can head to the old fort of Tamil Nadu which still bear witness to the past. In today's date, many forts are in operation, but some of these forts are still functioning and attract a large number of the tourists. First one is Vellore Fort. Vellore Fort is a large century fort built by Vijayanagar king in the heart of the city of Vellore in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu. The fort was once headquarters of the Aravidu Dynasty of the Vijayanagar Empire. The fort is known as imposing ramparts, wide moat and strong monastery. The ownership of the fort passed from the Vijayanagar kings to the Bijapur Sultans and the Marathas and the Carnatic Nawabs, and finally the British occupied the fort. Until India gained independence, the government of India maintained the fort along with the departments of archaeology During the British rule, the family of Tipu Sultan and the last king of the Sri Lanka, Sri Vikram Raja Simha, were kept as a prisoner in the fort. The fort has Christian church or Muslim mosque and the Hindu temple, which is famous for its splendid carving. The fort witnessed the first rebellion against British rule in the 1806 and also witnessed with the massacre of the Vijayanagar royal family of Sriranga Raya. Vellore Fort was built by the Chinna Bommi Reddy and a Thimma Reddy, who were the subordinate chieftains under Sadasiva Raya of the Vijayanagar Empire. Vellore Fort gained strategic importance after the re-establishment of Vijayanagar rule after the Talikota war, with the Chandragiri as their fourth capital. There is no fort quite like the one of the Vellore of the face of the earth. It had deep wet moat where 10,000 crocodiles once swarmed, waiting to capture every inductor in the fort. It has huge double basin. The walls are projected irregularly where two carriages can be driven in between. The fort can constructed in granite from the nearby quarries in the Arcot and the Chittor district. It is spread over an area in the 133 acres and is situated in altitude of 220 meters within a broken mountain range. The fort is surrounded by a moat which was once used an additional line of defense in the case of invasion. The fort houses a temple, a mosque and the church, the famous Vellore Christian Hospital and many other buildings that are now used as public offices. Second one is Udayagiri Fort. Udayagiri Fort, which is situated at distance about 100 km from Nellore. Udayagiri Fort is situated at altitude of 3079 feet, boasts of great natural beauty. There are lush green vegetation and beautiful waterfalls on the side of the hill. The United Fort is attracting a lot of tourists. However, access is only by steps and there is no road leading to the fort during the rule of Gajpati and the Vijayanagar rulers. The city developed with a grenier. The ruins of 365 temples found in the town depict the sculpture and the architecture of the different periods. Structure on the hills such as Ranganatha temple represent the Chola culture and the Balakrishna Mandiram represent the Pallava culture and the Paruveta Mandap represent the Vijayanagar. Other structures include the Chinna Masjid and the Peda Mosque. Sandalwood Festival is celebrated every year of 26th or Rabi month. The hill of Udayagiri is also known as Sanjeevi Hills as there are many medicinal plants on the hills. This place can be developed at the par with the Golconda Fort of Hyderabad. It is possible to introduce attraction light and the sound show, etc. The fort was built by the Gajpati and the Vijayanagar kings in the 14th and the 15th centuries. The army of Krishnadeva Raya attacked the fort. The fighting lasted for 18 months and resulted in end of the Gajpati rule. From the Telugu region, later it was ruled by the chief of the Nawabs of Golconda and Arcot during the rule of the Gajpati and the Vijayanagar rulers. The city grew in a great splendor, and the ruins of 365 temples depict culture and architecture of different periods. Architecture, a huge peak region. A height of 1994 meter can be seen here, which is called Sanjeev Hill, as many type of medicine herbs grow on it. Local stories mention the existence of the Sanjeevani on these hills. The remain of several ancient temples which are notable for their architecture. There are 13 forts in the fort complex, 8 on the hill and 3 below, covering an area about 7 mi. Gingee Fort or Gingee Fort in Tamil Nadu, India is one of the surviving forts in Tamil Nadu, India. It is located in Villupuram district, 160 km from the state capital Chennai and close to the Union Territory Puducherry. The site is so strong that the Maratha king Chhatrapati Shivaji ranked it as the most impregnable fort in India and was called as the Troy of the East by the British. The nearest city, which is a railway station, is Tindivanam, and the nearest airport is Chennai, located 150 km away. Originally built around 1190 AD by Ananta Kon of the Konar dynasty and the later fortified by the Krishna Konar, it was later modified in the 13th century to make it an impassable stronghold to protect the small town of Gingee Kango. It also headquartered in northern Tamil Nadu. The fort was built as a strategic location to deter any invading army. According to the account, the fort was further fortified during the 15th to 16th century, which is the who later became the independent king. The fort was conquered by Swaraj and the Subedar Harji Raj Mahadik in 1677 AD. For the Marathas led by the Chhatrapati Shivaji, the Bijapur Sultans and the Mughals, and the Carnatic Nawab, the French and the British in 1761. The fort is closely associated with the Raja Tej Singh, who unsuccessfully rebelled against the Nawabs of Arcot and eventually lost his life in the battle. Gingee Fort complex is of 3 hills. Krishnagiri is named after Krishna Kon in the north, Rajgiri on the Anandagiri is named after Anand Kon in the west, and the Chakli Durga in the southeast. The 3 hills together form a fort complex, each of which has separate and self-contained citadel. The walls of the fort are 13 km and the 3 hills and connected by wall enclosing an area of 11 square kilometers. It was built at the height of 800 feet and it was protected by an 80 feet wide moat. The complex consists of 7-story Kalyan Mahal, granary, jail cell and temple dedicated to its preceding goddess called Chenjinamana. Next one is Thirumayam Fort. Thirumayam Fort is the 40-acre wide fort in the town of Thirumayam on the Pudukkottai-Karaikudi highway in the Pudukkottai district of Tamil Nadu. It was constructed in 1687 by the Raja Vijay Raghunath Sethupati of the Ramnath. Later the fort was handed over his brother-in-law Raghunath Rai Tondaiman. The fort has been extensively renovated by the Archaeological Survey of India in 2012. The fort is said to have originally been ring fort for the 7 concentrating walls. Now only 4 survive. The construction of the fort is low quality as small blocks of the stone along with the bricks of the used for the construction of the fort. One in the north, other one is the south and third one is the east. On the southern side are the temple dedicated to Hanuman, Shakti, Ganpati, Karupar, and the north side are the temples of Bhairav. Half of the right saw chamber that was used as a magazine chamber. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, so please share this video and like this video and share as much as you can. We will be right back with a new video. Please stay tuned. Thank you.